What's going on YouTube? Thanks for joining back to the channel to watch this video. I have a new to me 2017 Sportster 48 that I just got. I've been on a tear trying to customize it and whatnot, so you can check back on all those other videos. And I also have a 2020 Softail Lowrider S. There's a lot of content in my channel that you can check out if you are into the Lowrider S, but in general we talk about Harley. But I did want to take some time to talk about one thing that I wish Harley could get right. Something that nobody really talks about or nobody really tells you about Harley Davidson dealerships. And there's a backstory to this. As I just mentioned, I just got this new to me 2017 Sportster 48. It's been a great bike. I love it. No issues with the bike. And I bought it from a local Harley Davidson dealership near me. I won't name which one. I stopped by and I took a look around, and I kind of fell in love with this Sportster. This isn't my first Sportster, I'll just say that. So I kind of knew what I was looking for, and as long as they gave me a decent deal, like I knew I was going to take it. During that process, you know, the dealership was great. If you've been to a Harley Davidson dealership to look at motorcycles or to purchase a motorcycle, I'm going to guess that you've had a fairly positive experience. And that's been my experience as well, for the most part. Like, this is my third Harley. You know, I had a Sportster before this. I have a Lowrider S, and then now back to a Sportster 48. And I want to commend Harley Davidson. You know, I think during the buying process, like, they make things super easy. They make things very simple and very comfortable. All their salesmen are, you know, just very easy to work with. They are patient. They're most of the time knowledgeable. So, like, you know, all that stuff aside, most Harley Davidson dealerships, like, in terms of sales support, I think they do a really good job. I think they have it right. They make you feel like you're part of their family. They talk to you. They try to get to know you a little bit better, understand what your needs are before recommending you a bike. I've also read, and it's been my experience as well, that they're not really like pushy salesmen, you know. It's, if you want the bike, cool. If not, you know, no big deal. If you go to Google reviews on most Harley Davidson dealerships, like, they're going to be mostly positive in terms of the sales experience. And I'll just note that if you're not doing that part right, if you can't get that part right, like, what are you doing? That's a fundamental part of your business. So if you can't get the sales part right, you're most likely going to be out of business. The part that really gets me upset and frustrated is the after sales support. So what do I mean by this? So like I mentioned, during the sale process, you know, it was great. I had a great time getting to know their salesmen, and like, we, you know, hit it off. Like, and don't get me wrong, I know that they're incentivized to be my friend, to try to act like we're all buds and we're cool, and because it's gonna make the selling process a lot easier for them. And so it's all part of the plan, but I get it, but they at least do that. They do that well. So during the process, everything's smooth, you know, we're all cool, like, very cordial, very friendly relationship. But then after you're done, after you walk out of there with that bike, see ya. This has been my experience 9 times out of the 10 that I've been to a Harley Davidson dealership looking for after sales support. This particular example is the current issue that I'm facing with my Sportster 48, and it's not a big issue. My tags have not been sent to me yet, and I'm veering on the edge of the expiration for my temp tags. I've been calling them for the last 2 weeks trying to get an update on, hey, where are my tags? Like, is the paperwork in? Does everything look correct? And the answer that I get is, hey, yeah, we'll look into that for you, and we'll call you back. Guess how many times I've been called back? 0. 0 times. And I've been calling every day, sometimes multiple times, because they'll send me to a voicemail that is not, that is full, that is not working. It's been a frustrating experience trying to get an answer on what is happening with my tags. Like I mentioned, I haven't received any callbacks. Just this last week, I was able to talk to the general manager. Actually, we'll pull over here. All right. It's a little bit quieter. All right. Here's the bike. Looking great. I've added a few more parts, but that'll be a video for next time. Wow, it is super dirty. And I have a lot of like little scratches on this chin fairing. So back to the story. I've literally talked to every salesperson there, every salesperson, every department manager, somebody to just help me out with an answer of where are my tags. You could still see here, I still have the temp tags. The expiration date is on the 19th, and today is actually I think the 15th. Nobody has called me back. And for me, like, if you're in sales or, you know, if you're in a customer service industry of any sort, like, your word is your bond to me. And if you break that, all trust has been broken. And just today, I got a response of like, hey man, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on with your tags. We'll extend your current temporary tags for you for the next 30 days. And hopefully within that time, you know, we can get this issue sorted out. It is not the perfect answer. I know that, you know, Harley dealership doesn't have anything to do with sending out the actual tags. You know, that comes from the DMV. It's been frustrating that my experience, and again, this is just my experience, but I do think that it's a fairly universal experience, that at the Harley Davidson dealership, once you're out of there with your bike, they're pretty much done. That's where the customer service ends. And what's frustrating is that nobody tells you this. Like, if you go on the Google reviews, if you Google whatever, your local Harley Davidson dealerships, like, most people will say, I've had a great experience with such and such salesperson because they sold me this bike. They made it such a great process. Yeah, no duh, because they're selling you a bike and they're making a living off of you. That's the whole system. And so, of course, they're going to be nice to you because they want you to buy the bike so that they can get paid. To me, where it really makes a difference, whether a dealership is golden in my eyes or not, is the after-sales support. Do they still act like your friend even if they don't have any incentive for them to help you out? Just because it's the right thing to do. Do they still show interest after you've walked out of there with your bike? To me, that is how you keep my business. And so far, I would say every one of the dealerships have failed for me. You know, I've gone to different dealerships to try to get warranty issues figured out. Like, I've made a video about that in the past. Zero support, which is why now I'm starting to do a lot of my own work. I'm starting to do a lot more research on like how to do my own things. I do all my own fluid changes. I want to make sure that I'm not relying on the Harley Davidson dealerships any more than I have to. But for this instance, I have to. But it's unfortunate that this is the kind of service that you can expect, at least in my area. And I know that I'm speaking kind of blanket statement, like universally, and it's not a fair statement to say that all Harley dealerships are this way. But I do think that oftentimes Harley Davidson dealerships, they act like they don't know you if you're not actually buying a bike or buying parts. You know, there's no incentive for them to help you out. That is the unfortunate thing. That is the one thing that I think a lot of people will not tell you about these Harley Davidson dealerships, especially if you go on Google reviews. You might find a few reviews that talk about the horrendous experience at maybe a service department, but that's really it. You know, I just want to provide my experience. It's been frustrating. Like, this is still a new bike to me. You know, you want that whole buying experience to be pleasant. And for the most part, it was. And I feel like I'm still kind of in that honeymoon phase where I'm in love with this bike. I've been riding it most days. And it's just a bummer that this last piece of the Harley Davidson, like, customer journey, if you will, hasn't been pleasant. I'm not trying to be dramatic here. It's not the end of the world. I know that I can get, my tags renewed. I'm just stating, like, whether it was a temp tags or whether it was like a service that I needed on this bike, I think for the most part it's still true. Like, they would act like I'm bothering them. I don't want this video to be a downer. Let's keep going, and we'll talk a little bit about future videos. To turn the mood around a little bit, I did get some good news. So we'll talk about that a little bit. So what other content do I have planned for this Sportster? I have more modification videos coming up, some more ride videos planned, and as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to be going on a little trip with my boys from Nevermore Moto and Moto John. We're going to be taking a trip together. Seems to be like our annual thing. So yeah, a lot of good things in the works. But as far as this Sportster is concerned, I think we're coming to sort of the end of the season in terms of modifications, and then I'm going to take a quick pause on it. And then I'll probably start again next season with more mods, more things that I want to do to this bike. Alright guys, so that's where I'm going to leave it today. I'm sorry that this video was a little bit of a downer, a little bit of a rant. I like to try to keep things somewhat moving in the positive direction. And also, if you want an update on my court case, if you all don't know or if you don't remember, I was pulled over. I retained a lawyer, and we're working through that right now. So hopefully, things go well in that direction, and that'll be behind me for the most part, outside of like fees and whatnot. But yeah, that's where I'll leave you guys. Thanks for joining in today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all of the support like always. But until the next time, peace out.